All right, so welcome back. It's been a bit. It's actually been quite some time since I last talked to y'all. Welcome back to episode 16 of the Speakeasy Dwelling podcast. It is currently October 4th, 2023. And I gotta say, I don't remember the last time I talked to y'all, but I believe it was towards the beginning of the spring, or actually towards the end of the spring semester of this year. I was still a freshman back then, or not necessarily a freshman. I was technically a sophomore there academically, but I was a first year student. That would be a better way of describing it. But yeah, back then I had facial hair. That was definitely a weird time for experimentation. I blame my my mental health deterioration due to me missing 2 days worth of class. I just gotta say, if you are a college student that is becoming a college student, this is either your first year or next year is going to be your first year, I just gotta say there is nothing more important than actually making class. It was a Tuesday Thursday class that I ended up missing, and then I also missed the Monday Wednesday Friday class. And just by missing those 2 days, I somehow was behind at least 10 pages in each class when it came to material to learn. And I was I struggled in order for the next month, and it was just really difficult for me to catch myself up with the rest of the class. So that was definitely took a toll on my mental health, and then I stopped taking care of myself. Not I stopped eating sort of thing, and I lost weight, but I just wasn't taking care of myself hygiene wise. I stopped brushing my teeth, stopped taking as many showers, I stopped trimming my hair every week, and it was sort of that kind of deal. But we got through it. But yeah, considering everything that happened last year and the beginning of this year, I think that I was actually genuinely excited to go into my sophomore year, because now I'm getting to more of my major related classes than I was then. Last year was mostly just I guess gen ed classes, and I had a couple of civil engineering specific classes, but a lot of them were just engineering as a big umbrella term specific classes. And now I'm getting into more the nitty gritty. I'm taking computational methods where I'm working on the code. The cool thing about that class is that I get to use ChatGPT. I wouldn't say it's encouraged, but I just got to make sure that I cite whenever I use ChatGPT. I just gotta say, I did pretty much almost an entire assignment. Mind you, I did cite my sources. I cited my sources, and I was doing my best in order to learn what exactly ChatGPT was trying to tell me to do. But it was just, I had to do an entire homework assignment. And the coolest thing is that it actually produced it. It actually produced the stuff that I wanted it to do. And I was just in awe about that entire thing. I had to read an Excel file of 2,555 different traffic reports for this one area on I-137, and I had to figure out where the most accidents happen at each mile marker, and then a parameter to find what was the biggest leading cause of those accidents. So I had the code. I had ChatGPT write a code. It took me maybe an hour in order to actually get it what it wants. I learned that the best way in order to use ChatGPT is by asking it small questions, and then eventually building it up as it goes along. I originally asked it to sort it by to create a range so that it would see all the accidents that would happen between mile marker 16 and 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, etc., etc., etc. Oh, and there's the National Weather Service. Not the National Weather Service, but the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. Yeah, you hear that right there. No, I guess you wanted to turn off. Okay. You may, the mic may have picked that up, but yeah, thank you for warning me. Much appreciated. I almost forgot about that. I know my dad sent me like a link saying, "Oh, this is when they're gonna test the wireless EAS," and just a heads up. I know it was supposed to be today. I kind of forgot about it. It's about that time, 2:18. Yeah, just about. What was I going off about? Oh yeah, ChatGPT. Computational methods. So I'm learning how to code, which is very interesting. It's very frustrating, but I think it's a very rewarding class. Mechanics of solids. That is a class that is less rewarding. I'm honestly struggling to figure out what they're teaching me half the time in that class. Then let's see, what else do I got on top of it? Then I got like stats for engineers. That's a very general class. I got then I got linear algebra, and then that's pretty much it. And then I got band. I gotta say, band's a little less interesting than it was last year. I don't know if it was about this time that the Gamecocks really started getting going, but we've had a couple games now where it's been close, but we just haven't been able to seal the bag. Like the first game we had against UNC Chapel Hill, that was just, we should have won that game. But our offensive line allowed 9 sacks that entire game, and Rattler was still able to pop off, and it was crazy. Just weren't able to get an offense going, and poor defense couldn't protect as much with Drake Mays and that offensive line that he had. After that, we had a couple, gimme games. And then we had Georgia, and Georgia's the #1 team in college football at this point. And we were leading them 14-3 in the first half. And it was just crazy. We're like, oh my gosh, could we upset the #1 team in college football? And then the second half came around, and I don't know if we made any adjustments, but we were just not a second half team. Georgia came out swinging and ended up scoring 21 unentered points against us to beat us 24-14. It was just, oh my gosh. It seems like a really close score, but considering the game and when those points were scored, it was not close at all. And that was very frustrating. So we go through a couple more games, and then this last week we have our game against Tennessee, which I ended up going away from. I was joining the Carolina band on an away trip to Tennessee. We went to Knoxville, and mind you, we beat them last year. I think they were number 5 in the nation at the time, and we were able to upset them, and that was just crazy. It was either that or number 10. I don't know which one it was. But we upset them at home, 63-38. And that's when the Cocks really started getting going. But we went in there. They were, I just gotta say, Neyland Stadium, 10 out of 10 game day environment. Everything that everybody talks about that place, it's all true. Like, they played Rocky Top 26 times. And there wasn't like a single time where people weren't screaming their lungs out when they were doing Rocky Top. It was just an awesome game day environment. The band was awesome. I think it was the first time I ever went to a band like an away trip and not like genuinely dislike the band after it. Like, I just didn't want to talk to them. Like, after that game, I was like, you know what? Those people in Tennessee, they're kind of chill. I like them a lot. We ended up having dinner with them the night before. They invited us out. We're like, oh, okay, yeah, and we had Mexican. I don't know if that was like a sabotage attempt, but it was decent food. It was decent food. Good Mexican food. But so nothing much has happened for band, but emotionally a lot of things happened. I was really excited to go into this year, primarily because of one thing. I was talking to someone, right? And I talked to someone, I think it was towards the end of the end of the spring semester, not sophomore, end of the spring semester. And we were talking for, five-ish months, pretty much almost consistently. I didn't even know that there was actually a thing that if you're like each other's #1 best friend on Snapchat, you're considered besties, and if you continue that for 2 weeks, you become you become BFFs, and then after that, if you keep that streak going for 2 months, then you become super BFFs. And that was definitely a very, very cool thing. It definitely kept me occupied a lot during the summer, just being able to talk to someone and hang out with them for a long time. But the one thing that was exciting was she was going to be coming to South Carolina. She was going to be coming to USC, so I was going to be like, hey. So even though that she lived in South Carolina, I lived in New York, there was always like, oh, we're going to be in the same school together, so we're going to be able to hang out. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And we were both excited about it. I think we both were excited about it. And, that first week came along, and it was nice. Like the whole entire thing about me, what are the words I want to use for this? All the things that I ever wanted in, I guess, not necessarily a relationship, but just being to be that intimate, for lack of a better word, with someone, just being able to, like, just hang out, just hug, cuddle, like, just have each other around was just like, it gave me the emotions that I thought I was going to experience. And I think that was just super nice. But as soon as it came, it kind of left. I think I was a bit too emotionally dependent on this person. And considering that they were a freshman, they wanted to get the freshman experience. And I mean, that wasn't me. That wasn't what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't go out every weekend, party, and do all that, John. It just didn't seem to be a very, I guess, respectable thing to do. Maybe you blame my upbringing for causing me to think like that, or just, I don't know, maybe just a strong will or a strong set of morals. I don't know. I know I'm very much in the minority when it comes to doing that kind of stuff. I know a lot of people want to go out, party, get drunk, and do that, but it was just, I don't know, like, seeing it wasn't a problem. I didn't think it was a problem until she ended up, like, drunk snapping me a couple times, and I saw her drunk, and it was just an entirely different person. Like, not even, like, remotely close to the person that I started, obviously had feelings for. And it made me super uncomfortable. And we ended up having it. I wouldn't say it was an argument, but it was kind of just a disagreement. It ended up coming over, like, the next day, and we were able to talk it out. And it was like, this is what I want to do. I know this is what you want to do, but so let's have like a middle ground for this. And it worked out temporarily, and then she ended up getting sick, and so she wasn't going to be able to hang out as much. And I was like, because she didn't want me to get sick, and I was like, okay, I don't call me overreacting, but I didn't think it was that much of a big deal, her getting sick, to the point, it didn't seem like it was to the point where it's like, oh, we can't hang out for, a week. But what was, I guess, more devastating on top of that was the fact that despite her saying that she was sick and said that they shouldn't like going out, she ended up still going out that weekend while she was sick. And that was the nail in the coffin that kind of made me like, I was like, what is this? Like, how can you, like, I'll ask you out like many times, and you're like, no, and you use this excuse, and then I ask you that same day, and you're like, no, I can't, and still using this, I'm sick, and you still go out, and you're like, what am I supposed to do? Another minor thing that she ended up picking up on, along with drinking. I mean, I personally don't have a problem with drinking. Like, I wish I could drink myself, but I don't have the means to be able to do that. Mostly because I'm underage, so I can't legally purchase alcohol unless I go get like a fake ID, which I don't have. So I don't have alcohol with me, but if I did, I probably would drink. Like, I'm not afraid of alcohol. But it's drinking not socially. Like, you know, like you're at a dinner and you drink. Like, that's a different kind of drinking. That's kind of the drinking that I would have. Drinking to party is where it kind of crosses the line, like drinking to get drunk kind of idea. And, you know, a bunch of people do stupid stuff when they get drunk. And it's just, people say that they're conscious when they're adult, but it's like, no. If you're conscious while you were drunk, like, people would still be allowed to drive on the road. Like, you don't make good decisions while you're drunk. That's why DUIs exist. So if you think that you're just like, oh, I was drunk, but I was conscious about everything, so I knew everything was going on. It's like, that doesn't really make it better. The fact that you knew everything was going on and you still went through it anyways. It's like, that's the problem. It's still going through it. Like, if your drunk self, it's like, oh, I'm gonna jump off a cliff. Like, you knew you were gonna jump off a cliff. You knew you jumped off the cliff. But it's like, why were you making that decision in the first place? Like, would your sober self, it's like the same thing, like, your sober self would have done that as well. And that just opens up a whole nother can of worms. And it's like, no, just don't do that. But again, I'm very much in the minority here. Like, I know there's going to be a lot of people who are going to disagree with me on that. But yeah, it was like, so, it became very apparent that she was just not emotionally available for me. And it was something that we kind of touched on towards the beginning of the semester. Because I would ask her, it's like, so are we anything? Like, we'll do stuff. And I'll be like, are we anything? And she's like, no, I don't know if I have time. Like, again, it's just starting out. And I'm like, okay. Just take your time. But it then became very apparent that she was never going to have time. And then she broke it off with me. And since then, it's kind of been like a weird limbo situation. And I think it's just me progressively getting more and more upset at her. And just me getting more and more upset about, like, I don't know. I know I need to seek therapy about this. I've been kind of neglecting to do it for a while now. I know I have to do it, so I have to do that either later today or tomorrow when I have free time. Just call this number. I've been recommended to call for seeking therapy through the university. But it's just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm saying like a lot. I'm just, it's filler words. I know it's terrible of me, but it's still it's frustrating to know that this person who you've hyped yourself up and you thought you had a chance with ends up not working out. And it's my first time. Like, it's my first quote unquote breakup. Even though we weren't anything, it still has that emotional value as, like, you were both emotionally involved with each other. But that's kind of like, it's kind of gone now. And the best thing that I can do right now is just talk, which is what I'm doing with y'all right now for those who are listening. And just talk about this kind of stuff. Cry when I need to cry. And just kind of move on. But the main theme of what each of us want to do is have space to the point where each of us doesn't care about what each other does with their life. And that's a thing that I've been having, like, me personally, been having a hard time dealing with, is having that time to just not care about what she does, because she's had like I won't be the first one to admit this. I won't be. I will be the first one to admit this. She's had a very, I guess, emotionally easier time than I have dealing with this. Like, she definitely had a bigger support system around her in order to deal with that, rather than me, who's been somewhat isolated since then. So she's been able to move on fairly quickly, which kind of upsetting. It kind of feels like I really, like, it wasn't worth crying over type of deal. Like, it wasn't worth, like, I wasn't worth getting worked up about. And I was like, that makes you, like, think, and like, was I enough? Like, I remember watching the Barbie movie, and they were talking about Ken and how he was constantly in the shadow of Barbie. And towards the very end, Ken's doing all this stuff in order to win her over. But Barbie doesn't want to be with Ken, even though that Ken wants to be with Barbie. And then Ken's like, well, it's Barbie and Ken. But then Barbie's like, well, it's Barbie and Ken. Like, Ken isn't a part of Barbie, and Barbie isn't a part of Ken. They're each their own, like, individual characters. And that's where the entire thing is, like, you're enough. You don't have to be, if the person that you want to be with most doesn't want you, that doesn't make you any less of a person. You are still you are still enough to someone, just not the one that you want to be enough for. And it's like, I guess that's the thing about, like, with me personally, like, was I enough? And I mean, maybe I was, maybe I wasn't, but for her, I wasn't enough. And I lied to myself while watching that movie. I didn't really like watching it the first time, but a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, Ken is literally me. Like, a lot of people were able to relate to him, but I wasn't able to at that time because I was still emotionally involved with this girl. So I kind of just faked it. But now that I'm in this, like, stage of my life, I can proudly say I'd be like, I'm Ken. Like, Ken's literally me. Like, I'm in that movie. Like, that song, I'm just Ken, where I see love, she sees it 10 or what, I don't know what the actual, like, the lyrics are for that. But hold on. But let me actually look up. I'm just Ken. Ryan Gosling. Cause I'm just Ken, anywhere else I'd be a 10. Isn't my destiny to live and die a life of blind fragility. I'm just Ken, where I see love, she sees a friend. What will it take for her to see the man behind the tan fight for me? And all of my life been so polite, but I'll sleep alone tonight. Doesn't matter what I do, I'm always number 2. And it's these lyrics that speak to a certain part of the male dating experience, where it's like, it's this battle after you're going through this big emotional part of your life where you doubt yourself. You're like, what did I do wrong? But maybe at the end of the day, you didn't do anything. Oh, there are gotta be things that you probably did do wrong. I know I most definitely did things that I was probably in the wrong for. But that doesn't mean me as a person am wrong. Like, I'm not a mistake. And that's just kind of one of the things that you gotta have to wrap your head around. But I don't know. It's just been, it's weird because I feel like she's moved on fairly quickly, and she still goes out and parties, and I'm just, she'll be doing stuff that I've never seen her do before, and like she has her location on for Snapchat, and I'll check in every now and then. I'll see when she's actually on the app. I'll see if she responds, but then she'll just be going to like Timbuktu and back, and I was like, why are you there? Sometimes she'll stay the night someplace, or at least I assume that she does, but she just doesn't open up Snapchat. Like one time she went to a rugby party and she got blacked out drunk because she took 13 shots of vodka. Who the hell takes 13 shots of vodka? Like, is that just not a raging red flag in someone? I understand, again, I understand you want to get the freshman experience and you want to like go party and get drunk, but there is a limit. There's a limit. 13 shots of vodka. What? Like I don't know how you're not dead from alcohol poisoning at that point. Like who the hell takes, let alone like 10, 13? So she apparently got in an argument with her roommate and then she got blacked out drunk, and I was like, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. Like there's a problem here that she just doesn't want to address. So she was like, okay, that kind of scared me. I'm gonna be designated driver, but I'm not afraid of drinking now. So now she's gonna be going out drinking, and it's like, oh my god, like Jesus Christ, like is that not a wake-up call in the slightest? Just there are just some people I just won't get. And you know, maybe in like hindsight 2020, maybe she just wasn't the one. Well, it's very obvious that she wasn't the one. And for me to get this distraught over someone who's so much different than me is a reflection of myself. Like, why do I feel like I deserve to be with someone who makes me feel this way? And it goes along to just understanding your morals and sticking to them. Like, it's okay to have standards. Did I sacrifice some standards in order to be with this girl? Yes. I sacrificed like 4 of stuff that I wanted to have in a person, but I just never had. Because it was my first chance, my first shot, and I wanted to take it because it didn't hurt. Let's say like, oh, you know, on the back of my lizard here, don't leave anything up to chance. I did not want to leave anything up to chance, and while I took the chance, but throughout all this, I wonder if I would have been better off. If I would have been better off never sending that text at all. I think my life probably would have been better if I never met this person at all. And that's a weird thing to think about. Like, again, you're not defined by your accomplishments, you're defined by how you overcome mistakes. Conflict defines people. The way you get the actual conflict itself doesn't define who you are, but it's how you overcome it. And right now in my life, this is a conflict that I haven't been able to quite overcome. Would I be the person that I am today if it wasn't for me getting through conflict? No. The person who is me back in freshman year of high school, before I got bullied, is an entirely different person, a more mature person. Is a less mature person and a less evolved person than the person I am right now. The person I am right now is just it's like the farmer's insurance. You know, I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two. So that's not to say that I just don't know, because again, I had this entire thing where it's like, maybe it wouldn't better if I just didn't meet this person because I wouldn't be this emotionally distraught. But at the exact same time, like, if I didn't meet this person, maybe I wouldn't be able to have this experience and be able to deal with these emotions in order to better, you know, deal with next time. And it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what she wants anymore. Like, she'll say that she wants space, and I'm like, okay, we'll have space. And then she'll want me to snap her, and I'm like, well, what do you? It's like, so we'll have conversations and that. I'm like, this isn't. In the back of my mind, I'm like, this isn't space. But she doesn't want me to stop snapping her. She just wants me to give her. I don't even know, man. It's so confusing what she wants me to do. And she'll be like hiding stuff, which, I mean, you can hide whatever you want. Like, I mean, I'm hiding stuff right now. But there's like a level of transparency there where it's just a mutual area of respect that you need to have for one another that just isn't like existent. Like, I don't think she has that mutual respect that I have for her in order to, you know, bring myself into her life. I will give her this. She did end up turning her location off, which I do, in hindsight, appreciate, because now I don't know anymore what she's doing, which is good. It's very good that I don't know what she's doing anymore. So, other than when she snaps me. But I asked, so I saw that because, you know, there's a lot of things that change when someone's location is turned off. And I was like, okay, because I know I complained a lot. Like, if she was already seeking other guys, because it honestly feels like that. Like, again, like, I wasn't worth, like, at least waiting, like, half a year in order to get into the next relationship. Like, already, like, she's on to someone new. And I feel like that constantly. But she ended up turning the location off, so I don't know what she's doing. And I asked her, I was like, hey, is the reason why you turned your location off because of me? And she's like, no, it's not because of you. She's like, no, it's not because of you. I just turned it off just because it's not that deep. And I'm like, why do you say that? And she's like, oh, I don't want to talk to you about this right now. It's not that deep. I don't have to be transparent with you. I don't have to tell you things. And it's just, and she's like, oh, I want to have a personal life, and I can't have a personal life, you know, if the whole world knows where I am. I'm like, okay, fine. You have your personal life. The whole world doesn't need to know what you do. And already that's setting off red flags in personal life. But then I ended up texting this other person who is friends with her, or at least used to be friends with her. And I'm like, well, looks like this is the end, because I thought she turned up red receipts, which she ended up not doing. I guess she just never read any of my messages then. But she has her location on for her. And mind you, they don't talk. So that means that I was singled out as a person who can't see the location. And that hurt. Like, that hurt a lot. I wasn't hurt by the fact that I was taken off. I couldn't see the location anymore, because I don't, like, I deserve that. I deserve to be treated like that. Like, I won't deny it. But what hurts me the most is the fact that she lied about it. Like, the little trust that I already had in her throughout this entire dead space, which has only been like 2-3 weeks, it's just gone. Like, if she's just, because I believed her, because why would she have to lie? But then now that I know that she did lie to me, it's just, what other lies has she said? Like, how can I trust this person who's now I know is lying to me? How am I supposed to trust this person? And I just want to just grab my two hands and just strangle someone about it. Because that's frustrating. Like, that was the biggest issue that I had in high school my sophomore year, was the girl I was interested in started ignoring me, and I was wondering why. And everyone lied about it. Everyone lied to me about it because they were afraid I hurt my feelings. until Facundo Martinez ended up coming over and said, Jared, I'm gonna give it to you straight. You're acting like a douche. You're acting like a creep. And I was not even upset at the fact that he called me a creep and a douchebag. I was so happy that finally someone had the balls to actually tell me the truth of what was actually going on, so I didn't constantly live my life in denial. The same thing happens here. I've been living these past 2-3 weeks in denial of things that are happening or probably will happen or probably have been happening. And I thought she was telling the truth. But now that I know that she's not telling the truth, now that opens up a whole kind of words of what other lies has she told me. Has she actually been sleeping over with other guys? Has she been like, was I really not worth anything, worth getting emotionally invested over? Like, what other things has she said? And it begs the question, well, what can I do? And I think there's nothing we can do. And I don't know. Maybe I know she wouldn't care if I were to just all of a sudden block her one day and just completely remove her from my life. I want to get revenge. I want to get back. But I know she's too far gone in order to be able to do anything with that. And that hurts. Knowing that you just gotta suck it up and take the hit. Knowing that other person will not feel the pain that you feel. You feel cheated in a way that they were able to have this experience and be able to treat you the way that they treated you, and you're just not able to reciprocate that back at all. You just gotta take the punches, and you can't dish out with dishing. And that's tough. That's a tough reality to kind of deal with, and a tough predicament that you place yourself in. Were we in love at one point? Yes. Is that love still there? No. Is it better to have fought and lost than never fought at all? And I can't help but getting teary-eyed just thinking about it. Like, there it was in the palm of my hand, and it's gone. It vanished out of thin air, and it's gonna be a bit before I kind of have that experience again. And I know I need to work on myself. Like, again, I need to call that therapist. I've been procrastinating for 3 weeks now about seeking a therapist. And I don't know how much longer I can go on with just me being constant. And it's like, I don't know. It's gonna be tough, I know. Am I gonna be a better person out of it? I sure hope so. I always have been. And the one thing I have noticed is that from the 4 girls that I've been interested in and that I have been involved with in a way, the next one always got better than the last one. And that's nice. Even though sometimes they may be going out in an ugly way. The next person that came along made you happier. Made you forget about that last person. It was like, why did I even bother? And that's comforting, in a way. Did it take me a while in order to find these people? It took me about maybe a year or so between these people. And I don't know if in that time I truly worked on myself. Like, why, as my mom described it, I'm a half circle. And in order to make myself feel whole, I need another half circle. But the half circles can never be whole because they rely on each other to be whole. So what I need to do now is become a full circle. And to be happy with myself and the relationships that I already do have, or the relationships I've get. Like, there's a lot of friendships that I had that they're nothing more than just purely, professional in a way. But it's like, it's expanding on top of those relationships that I already have. That just, I guess, I don't know. It makes you happy. So, I thought I'd just let you guys know how I've been doing for the beginning of my second year here at USC, and just give you an update on how I'm doing. Hopefully by the end of this year, I'll produce another podcast with you, give you an update, and yeah. I wish you all the best. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share it to whoever you want to share it, and stay tuned for the next episode. I know there's probably cards in the top left or top right corner, depending on how it is, for the playlists of all the episodes. Which I didn't realize that there's actually a whole entire section dedicated on your channel, dude, for podcasts. Like, I don't have to upload it as a video anymore. I can upload it as a podcast. So there'll be like a playlist, and there'll be like the last episode, or like the first episode, or like recommended episodes and stuff like that. So you can see how I am as a person. Maybe next time I'll have someone over to talk with, and we'll have a podcast. But I talk too much. I really do. But thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you around. Stay positive, my friends.